Hong Kong International Airport is one of the world's 10 busiest passenger airports and the busiest cargo gateway worldwide, strengthening Hong Kong's status as a leading international and regional aviation center. Air Challenge is a board game based on the operation of the Hong Kong International Airport. It lets players experience the thrill of runway operations and the challenges they pose. Players need to manage their cars to arrange aircraft takeoffs and landings on the 2 runways. The objective is to achieve the highest takeoff and landing volume. The first player to obtain 10 stars wins. There are 4 pairs of aircraft in 4 different colors. There are 3 types of cars: 42 aircraft cars, 12 scenario cars, and 74 action cars. And of course the game board. Winning or end of the game. The first player to get a total of 10 stars wins the game. Each player takes 2 aircrafts of the same color. Shuffle the action card deck and deal each player 5 cards. Shuffle the aircraft cards with the scenario cards. Place the deck face down in the section of the board marked Aircraft Card Draw. The order of play is to be determined by the players. At the start of each player's turn, the player should make sure that each of the 3 aircraft card spaces, both north and south, has an aircraft card. If a scenario card is turned up before the game starts, no action is needed, and the drawn scenario card should be inserted back at the bottom of the aircraft card draw pile. In subsequent turns, the instruction on the scenario card must be executed prior to any other action by any player. A sunny day. All players may move their aircraft on the runway 1 space forward. Amber or red lightning warnings. Under the warnings, all players need to draw 1 or 2 action cards from the pile. Lost luggage. A passenger has lost his luggage. All players need to discard 2 action cards of their choice. Typhoon. Aircraft takeoffs and landings are affected by a typhoon. All aircraft cars on the runways need to be removed to the diverted flights area. A player can take a maximum of 3 actions on each turn. In other words, he or she can play a maximum of 3 action cards. If a player plays a takeoff permit action card, the player needs to select an aircraft card from the aircraft card south space and then place an aircraft on the selected aircraft card as a set on the south runway. Each aircraft card shows different number of stars ranging from 1 star to 3 stars. A player will need to use arrow action cards to move the aircraft on the runways by matching the number of stars shown on the aircraft card. For instance, a 1-star aircraft will require 1 arrow to move the aircraft 1 space forward, and 2 arrows to move the aircraft 2 spaces forward, and so on. A 3-star aircraft will require 3 arrows, or 2 arrows plus 1 arrow action cards, or 3 1 arrow action cards to move the aircraft 1 space forward. Attach an aircraft on the selected aircraft card and move 1 space forward. Draw 2 action cards afterwards. Discard the used action cards on the action card discard area. Finish the round and draw 2 action cards. A player cannot keep more than 10 action cards at any time. Otherwise, he or she needs to discard the extra cards in the action card discard area. At the start of each player's turn, the player must make sure that each aircraft card space, both north and south, has an aircraft card. Otherwise, get the required number of aircraft cards from aircraft card draw. When the player uses a diversion action card, he or she can remove another player's aircraft card from the runway to the diverted flights area. After successful takeoff, the player may keep the aircraft card. Snatch. A player can take 2 action cards from any one player. Landing permit. If a player plays a landing permit action card, the player can select an aircraft card from the aircraft card north space and then place an aircraft on the selected aircraft card as a set on the north runway. If a player plays a typhoon card, all aircraft cards on the runways are removed to the diverted flights area. When the player is out of action cards, the player will need to draw 5 action cards from the action card draw pile. A player whose aircraft card being diverted by another player can use an emergency takeoff landing action card to stop the diversion and avoid the removal request. Air Challenge, a board game about the Hong Kong International Airport, not only lets players experience the busy runway operations and the challenges they pose. Players can also have a chance to arrange takeoffs and landings strategically. Everyone, let's start the game now!